Hi guys, I'm so happy that you're here with us. I am Katie Ann. I go by Katie, and I have Kate here with me too. And basically, what we want to do is just have an easy, nonchalant conversation about what is coaching. So, seriously, what the fuck is coaching? We've probably invited you a million times, or maybe this is the first time that you're ever hearing from us. Either way, we are here to kind of just give you the no BS rundown of what we do as coaches on the regular. So basically, I'm just going to start with talking a little bit about my story, how I've been here. I had started coaching back in 2015, so I've been a coach for a long time, but I really don't think that I dove into my coaching business wholeheartedly until about 2017 is when I really was like, where can I go with this? But just a little backstory. I came into this in a really dark place. So back in 2015, to set a setting for you, I was living in the middle of nowhere, Virginia. I had no internet, no cable, nothing. I had been in an abusive relationship, and I honestly didn't have anywhere to turn. I hated the way that I looked in the mirror. I just had no confidence, and up until that point, I had just had a rough go for the past couple of years. And I had seen my coach, and I saw her on basically, I think it was Facebook, and she just looked so happy. She was glowing, she was smiling, and I saw her doing these workout programs, and I kind of was like, at first I was like, oh my God, why is she so happy? Like, it's so annoying. And I finally gave in and was like, whatever she's doing, I need to be doing, because I had literally hit rock bottom. And I think the biggest thing that you'll learn when it comes to my journey and Kate's journey is that, yes, we've lost weight, and yes, we've had a physical transformation, but for a lot of both of our stories, it's all mental. Coming from a place where I didn't feel like I was good enough, and I had been told that I was all of these things, and I truly believed it, and I didn't think that I deserved good, and all of this stuff, just being mentally beaten down pretty much for several years, took a toll. And so when I decided to do this journey, I kind of just did it for myself first. And slowly but surely, I saw the weight come off. I dove into personal development, and I realized that this was an outlet of positivity. I was surrounded by people who wanted to do better. People believed in me. I started to believe in myself, and it led me here. Like I said, I've been doing it since 2015. I recently went to full-time coaching last year, almost a year ago now, when I moved to Massachusetts to be here with my now wonderful boyfriend. And I think that the biggest thing is, if you're here watching this, it's because you're looking for something else. Something is missing from your life, or you don't like something about yourself, or there's something you want to change. There's some type of negativity in your life right now, and I feel like that's why you came to us, especially because I know both of us talk about this mental transformation and just kind of getting yourself out of the trenches and changing your life and changing your attitude. So I'm going to toss it to Kate, and I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself.
All right, so my story is really similar to Katie's, because we both came from super dark backgrounds, but my story differs from most coaches on our teams because I'm super young, and I feel like that's one of the most blessed things that's happened to me, because a lot of people wait until later in their life to seek help. It normally takes longer to want something more. But I started following my coach whenever I was, probably 19, maybe 20, in college, in a super, super dark place. I just had really bad anxiety that also led to depression. I felt super uncomfortable in a college environment. I was over the partying. I was over being treated like shit from a bunch of kids who were my age and didn't care about themselves, and so didn't care about anyone else. And I always knew that I wanted to be more, which I literally got bullied for whenever I was in college, for wanting to just get out of that kind of environment when that's just what everyone was seeking. But I didn't know how to be more. I didn't know that there were tools out there, that there was so much content to read and people out there that were willing to help you. And that got offered to me whenever I started to join, not coaching, but fitness. That's a big thing that we do as coaches. We help you get over a lot of personal battles. So I, for my first year, didn't really stick to a program. I did a little bit, lost some weight, but fell on and off. The biggest thing for me is that I saw the community that was there rallying behind each other, and that's something that I've never had. I never really thought I wanted to have a girl group, a big group of friends, but somehow that was the one thing that I really needed. And it was scary for me because I'd always been this really negative person. And I was like, how am I supposed to be the person that's positive and the person who shows up all the time? But that's kind of why I leaned into coaching, because I knew that if I had that commitment to other people, that this could be the accountability for me. It did take a long time, about a year, for me to really devote to something that we do every day, which is personal development. It's my favorite thing about our job. And finally it stuck, and I've stayed out of that really dark hole for about 2 years now. So favorite part about the job. And yeah, like Katie Ann said, if you're here, it means that something negative is going on in your life, or you just want something more. And for me personally, this doesn't have to be your end game. This isn't my only goal in life, but it is something that I'll keep in my life forever, no matter what career I have, because of the community that it gives me and the things that I have to do daily for myself in order to do my job good, but that also just fills my whole entire spirit up and changes me. So, Katie, your turn. Talk about what we do.
Yeah, and before that, I just want to play out something that you said, because I think you made a really good point when you talked about, like, you weren't sure if you could do this because you were in a negative spot.
Yeah.
And for me, I came into it too. Like, I didn't just jump into coaching immediately. You know, it took time for me to dig into myself to have that confidence to coach. However, I 100% believe that no matter what state you're in, physically, mentally, whatever, you can be a coach, because what I'm about to talk about, what we do as coaches, we lead from the front. We lead by example. The best thing that I ever did was start coaching when I had not came anywhere close to my goals, because I was in the trenches with the people that I was inviting. They felt like they knew that I was going to be doing this with them. And granted, that hasn't changed. We still do that every day. Yeah. But when I was in that place, that negative place, and when I was still 40 pounds heavier, it was really honestly easy for me to relate to people, because I was at the same level they were. They didn't look at me like somebody that had achieved all this success already, and it didn't intimidate them. So if you're not where the weight, maybe you want to lose a bunch of weight and you're not where you want to be, or maybe you do deal with depression or anxiety, like both of us still deal on a daily basis, then it's okay. It's okay. And that's honestly, you have to think of it in the terms of using it to help other people. Basically, you will be the voice and you will lead to help other people. So basically what we do as coaches, several different things, but I'll start with the boot camps. Maybe you have been a part of ours already, or maybe we have talked to you about it before. If not, basically we run online boot camps, and we do it through an app. It's a free app. It's awesome. And basically we log, you'd be responsible for logging like your shakes, your workouts, and all this stuff. But the cool part about the boot camps is, especially if you come on as a new coach, you're going to be in with your coach. You're basically going to be shadowing, helping out, running. It's not like you have to just get thrown into a group on your own. And if you've already been in them, then you understand what they're like. It's a positive place. It's accountability daily to make sure that you are getting in your workouts, that you are working on yourself. I know for me personally, I do themed days motivational stuff, tips, recipes, whatever. You've probably seen some maybe that have been advertised as different themes. So it's just a fun place. Honestly, the way I describe it, it's a group full of women that are there to push you and to hold you accountable without the drama, because we don't do the drama here. It's all positivity and it's no judgment zone, and I love it. So getting a transformation. So this is kind of the thing that we were just talking about, is even though maybe you haven't had one already, that's totally fine. But our job as coaches is to get people transformations. And let me just say, I have people that come to me who want to gain weight, who want to gain muscle, who want to tone, who want to dive into personal development and like just mentally transform themselves. I have people who want to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 10 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever. You get people that come all across the board, and the best part is that we can help all of them. We don't have to turn anyone down. We have a million different programs for people who love all sorts of different stuff: yoga, dance, weightlifting, cardio. We have kid-friendly programs that moms can do with their kids, whatever, we have it. And I think that's the coolest part about our job, is that we get to have a true one-on-one conversation with somebody and ask them, do you struggle with nutrition most? Do you struggle with fitness most? Okay, if you like fitness, what would you lean towards, or what seems appealing to you? And we cater to that person. I never want to see a coach just like push a random program on somebody because it's what's on sale or whatever. I'm hoping that if we invited you here, then we've had those conversations with you or whatever. But it's definitely about catering to somebody in order to get them the maximum results, because we want to produce lifelong customers. Maybe they'll be your coaches in the end. You never know. But we're here to really, truly get somebody results and be there for them daily in the group, as far as also one-on-one, whether it's a call or, Facebook message, because we are not the team to sign people up and then say, okay, see ya, enjoy. That's not what we do. So that's a cool part of our job, because we get to really, truly listen and help people. Support system. We have to talk about that. So really, like what I was just saying, is we're not the kind of people to just kind of let them go on their own. It's the groups, and you as a coach, you're just being their support system. You obviously, the hardest thing about being a coach, I think, is realizing that you literally can't create motivation for somebody. They have to be willing to be in that place to listen to you and actually take your advice and do it on their own. A lot of our stuff is virtual, so we can't physically be there with somebody in their living room. But we do things like Zoom chats, like how, me and Kate are talking now, where we can jump on a Saturday morning and everyone's working out together. Or I know that in the past I've paired people up that work out at the same time or whatever, and they have access to you, whether it be Facebook Messenger or through a text message. That's for you to decide, because it's your business. But you're basically just creating a support system and being there for them. So I think that's pretty much what we do, and I will toss it to Kate. She is going to talk about how we don't sell, we invite.
No, not yet. I'm talking about how we share our journeys.
Oh, sorry.
No, but that's like coming up soon.
I'll be talking about that later. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this one I think is like really important to help people who have thought about coaching understand that a big essence of our job is just sharing our journeys. And I want to start by saying you don't have to be scared if you are someone who is not like us, because we were not like this whenever we started. It's not going to happen right away where you feel really authentic sharing the hard stuff and the deep stuff. That comes with a lot of practice, and that's not something that you have to share right away. You just want to be honest and authentic and share every single part of your journey. And by doing that every day and getting out little breadcrumbs of parts of your journey that are hard for you to talk about, you'll practice and you'll build up the strength. It is literally confidence. It is a muscle. You have to build it. People ask me all the time, they're like, girl, how do you talk on your story so naturally all the time? And I'm like, I was shaking when my coach made me get on my story for the first time and talk. And the reason why I do it is because I have to. I know my message is important. I know that there are people out there who need to hear it. So I practiced and I shared the not so scary stuff and worked my way up to like the most serious stuff that I've ever shared about my depression and my anxiety. And so I just want you to know that just be honest and share the stuff that's easy for you, and you can work your way up to sharing the really hard stuff. It's not just going to happen right away, and it doesn't have to. It's not supposed to. The best part about sharing your journey is that, like I said, it's breadcrumbs. You don't always have to do an extremely long post. You share little tidbits of your life every day, and the people who are following you see that, they gain trust, and they learn your story as a whole. Super easy. I can get rid of the fears right away for you guys. So Katie, go ahead and talk about mentorship. That's the next one, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, do you have anything else to say on that?
I just think that, like, for me, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I didn't just come out on Facebook one day and be like,
it was terrifying at first.
Yeah, I was in an abusive relationship. Like, absolutely not. And I have to be completely honest with you, before I even shared that stuff, like, my family didn't even know. So I'm just, like, throwing this on social media. It made me want to, like, vomit. But I can remember, too, like, the first time that I ever posted a transformation photo, as soon as I hit post, I literally bawled my eyes out because it was so scary. It was so scary because we're human. We worry about, what are people going to say? You know, is so-and-so going to see it? Or, like, what are they?
The second you get support and people are like, oh my gosh, I relate to that, it just validates for you.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is that when you've gone through something like traumatic, like having, like, you know, really bad depression or going through an abusive relationship, like, you kind of, it's natural to be like, why me? Like, why did this happen to me? And so it's easier to use it for good than to let it take you down. Like, you have two choices in life. You can either deal with it and use it for good and help people. Like, for me, sharing that stuff it still doesn't feel great all the time sharing it. It still is hard to do it. But like Kate said, we know that by doing it, somebody is going to hear it that needs to hear it. And if I would have had that when I was going through what I went through, it would have made it a hell of a lot easier for myself to get out or to go through what I was going through. And so I just think that, like, if you have gone through something, you can use it to be a voice and to be a light for other people, you know, almost kind of like you're like sacrificing yourself. At the same time, when you get that message that it's like, I saw your post and I just really needed to hear that tonight. Or I had a girl who immediately was like, I'm in an abusive relationship. Like, can I talk? Like deep stuff. And I get goosebumps talking about it because it's like, oh my God, like, this is why I do what I do. So I think that it comes with time. Like she said, it comes with time, but you have to think of it as like, we do it for a reason. We don't do it for attention. We do it because we're going to change people's lives by talking about the stuff that was hard for us. And that comes with what I'm about to talk about, mentorship. Like, this is not something, again, just like I said, that we don't push people out there and like sell a challenge pack to somebody and then you're like, okay, bye. Okay, we don't do that to you guys either. So like, if you come on to our team, it's all about mentorship. There are so many resources that we have, one-on-one conversations, that whether it's myself that invited you or Kate, I know that like we all do one-on-one calls with our coaches. It's giving you little steps at a time. That's the other thing. I don't want you to come in and think like, oh my God, I have to do this, and this. Like, no, we tell you exactly what to focus on and what's important from the start, and then you build. Like, talking to people, focus on that, you know, make a list of people that you know or that you could talk to, that you could invite. Then talk about, like, figure out your social media. Like, then worry about that. And like, it's almost like how she talks about breadcrumbing your story. That's what we do with you. It's little small tasks. It's one-on-one mentorship. You get so many resources, plus being in the team page, everyone's there, everyone's helpful. You know, you're never going to bug us with like too many questions. I know like coming into it, you just feel like you don't know what you're doing. And I'm sure Kate can attest to this.
I still am the queen of questions.
Kate is the one that has all the questions. And you know, I came into this right after my coach signed up. So her and I kind of did it together. But yeah, I mean, Kate coming in and being new, like, it's okay. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay not to know what you're doing. It's our responsibility now as more veteran coaches to be able to be there for you and get you down the right path and having you realize like how not only what to do, but how to spend your time wisely. Because we understand that a lot of you are going to have full-time jobs, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're in school, or maybe, like Kate said, your end game is a different type of job. Whatever. We get this is probably most likely going to be everyone on this call's part-time thing. So we both don't want to see you spending hours doing all these things where it's not producing income and it's not producing results. We are going to tell you exactly what you need to do in the minimum amount of time in order to be successful. And I think that took us both a long time to kind of realize, how am I spending my time and how is it actually going to produce income? And that's pretty much what we want to see you guys do too.
Yeah, we both talk a lot about finding simplicity.
Yeah.
Because you can waste a lot of your time getting creative with this business. And again, that's not what we want to see you guys do. So we help you with all of those things. And going off of mentorship and talking about sharing your journey, sharing your story, that's another thing we'll help you do. Just so you guys know, if your stories, your backgrounds don't seem as extreme as mine and Katie's, if you haven't gone through that stuff, you still have a story, and we help you find that. And there are people who are just like you who will be the people that sign up with you. So just so you know.
No, that's an important point, because maybe
you don't have to be as damaged as these.
Maybe you haven't, maybe you're not, like, you haven't gone through something so traumatic. But I will say that by diving into yourself, when you dive into your personal journey and your fitness and your personal development, you literally start to create a story to tell. Even if you feel like you don't have one, like Kate said, we're here to help you find that, because I call bullshit on that. I know that everyone has a story to tell. Former reporter, everyone has a story to tell. But at the same time, you're constantly growing and changing and inspiring yourself so that you do constantly have things to share. So that's definitely important.
For sure. All right. This is my favorite topic to talk about because it is what I was scared shitless over. Not selling, but inviting, because you don't have to have any sales experience to do this job. And we do not want you to be salespeople to do this job. We're never going to we will give you prices and information so that you understand it, but we don't go into people's inboxes and say, hey, do you want to buy this? It's not salesy, and that is not the goal. The goal, like we talked about before, is to create real, authentic conversations. Notice the people who interact with you and interact back with them, because even a simple a repeated like what I did with my coach whenever I started, can be someone that's relating to you and wanting help. They just don't know it yet. So really, you just want to go in there and just offer them what they have, offer them what you have. It's all about not being selfish. You were granted this opportunity, so you should give it to others. We don't push people to buy. We will reach out to them a few times, because this is a scary thing. Whenever there's so many things out there that promise you success and results, and a lot of it promises like magical pills and wraps. We try to make it very clear that that's not what we're about, and that it just takes true effort. So we reach out to people a couple times, because of course it's scary to see another thing coming your way that you're going to waste money on and give up on. That's why through our invites, we just have a real conversation saying, hey, this is what I've been through. Not sure if you've been through this, but I have this thing and it's great because, hey, I'm here to help you. I'll be by your side every step of the way. That's kind of how our inviting goes. It's not salesy at all. We don't scream like our products from our stories. We just let people know that we're there to help them. All right, my dogs are getting rowdy, so sorry if you guys can hear them. They're ready to eat, and so is Katie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go through this next one fast because we have talked about this a little bit. It's about you first and consistency in your journey. Your job, the work that you do with this is only going to be as successful as your journey is. And that doesn't mean not having slip-ups. Me and Katie are both fighting our way back right now from life happening and losing some results. So that's not what I mean by it, but you have to stay consistent and you have to stay honest. So people know that they can trust you. That's why people will sign up with you instead of every other coach that they see, because you're going to be the person that we've helped be true to themselves and seem like a real human being. But you have to stay consistent in your program. And I think that's, I love about coaching. I quit everything I've ever done. Every single fitness thing, diet that I've ever done, I quit until Beachbody, because I had people to show up for. So if you've quit on every time, just know that this can be the start of it being different. But that's where the success is going to happen, just letting people know that you're always showing up, even if times are hard. Just let people know that you're there, and they're just going to relate to you for being a human. Okay, go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, because we're not robots, and we obviously, like Kate said, life happens, and it's not about being some like perfect, like I'm gonna have abs and like eat clean like 100% of the time. Like, no, those people are intimidating, and like no one relates to them. Like, it's okay to find this life of balance. Learning how to like control like wanting to eat sugar or like drinking and all these things that like we all enjoy, but like we don't like how we feel whenever it happens. So it's just finding that balance and getting into like your groove for yourself. And that's a perfect, like what you said was perfect, Kate, because something I wasn't thinking about is that when you talk about quitting, I quit everything. I'm talking like sports and like every club I've ever been in, chronic quitter. Yep. Always quit everything because I got bored with it, or like I didn't get what I wanted out of it, or all these things. But okay, yeah, I've had even people in my challenge group, or maybe you're one of the people that have been in there, and like even being in a challenge group, it's easier to quit because you can kind of like sit in the background and just kind of like do your own thing. But when you're a coach, like you feel obligated, like you are obligated to lead. And like for me, like she said, we both are kind of finding our groove back. And I was honest with my girls. I was like, I let the holidays get to me, and I gained weight. And after my grandfather passed, like I let myself enjoy, ice cream every night, and it caught up to me. But at the same time, that was my opportunity to lead from the front. And I still wanted to show up because we had people relying on us. So maybe that's a way to keep you even extra accountable, is by coaching. So we're going to wrap this up, but the last thing that we need to talk about is money. And that's probably why you guys are all here, because everyone wants to know, how does a Beachbody coach actually make money? And while we're not going to get into all these crazy details, because again, we're not here to overcomplicate this. We're not here to overwhelm you. This is a conversation that you guys can have with us later on, once you kind of get in the groove of things. But just to give you a really quick breakdown, most of your money, I would say in the first at least couple of months of coaching, it's all going to be from making sales. Just think about it as like getting one person to join your challenge group is an easy $50 in your pocket. Think of it that way. Or maybe you've already have enjoyed some of our shakes and you want to pay for those. That's why I originally started coaching. Think of it as signing two people up and having the money to pay for those. But aside from that, I want you guys to think about, what would an extra $100 in your pocket a month do for you? Or maybe $300 or maybe $500? Or what would an extra $1,000 on top of your salary right now do for you? Would it be saving it for your kids? Would it be for a family vacation? Maybe you want to pay for a master's class. I don't know. Maybe it's something you've always dreamed of, that you've a huge trip or a car or something or a house. I don't know. I want you guys to sit here and think how this extra money changed my life. Because for me, when I first started coaching back in January of 2015, my first paycheck, I believe, was $33. And to me, that $33 seems so insignificant now. But I told you, you're going to earn $33. You guys would probably be like, okay, cool. But for me, in that place, that $33 was gas that I desperately needed. Like, I was in a spot where I had absolutely no money, and that random $33 dumped into my bank account on one Thursday that I wasn't even expecting, while I was basically getting it to take care of myself. That's the way I saw that money. I was taking care of myself. I was doing my workouts, and it was like, hey, here's an extra $33. And to me, that was everything. And it grew from there. January the next year, 2016, I think it was, I shared my income progression on my page. I think it was like 100 and something, 150, 120, somewhere around there. And even then, 2016, 100 extra dollars a month, I was like, hell yeah. And then the next month, 2017 is when or next year, 2017 is when I really took it all. I was like, I want to do this. And I brought in, I think about, I don't really remember, maybe 500 and something that month. And that $500, that was a lot to me. I was working as a news reporter, and I literally was barely paying my bills. I mean, really, really strapped. A news reporter salary was really, really tough. And then March 2018 came around, and that constant consistency that Kate was talking about, that compound effect of doing those little things every day, drinking my shake, doing my workout, talking to people, inviting them, that over time went to over $1,000 in January of 2018. And I can just tell you right now that when I was living a year ago as a news reporter, I was only bringing in about $850 a month that I could live off of. My journalism salary was crap, and my apartment was $949 a month. And my paycheck, my 1-2-week paycheck, did not cover that. I brought in about $900. I was still about $49 short whenever I was trying to cover my my rent check. So I was living off of less than $900 a month. So that extra $1,000 was $1,000 that I was able to go and see my boyfriend, who I live with now in Massachusetts, and all these things. So I want you to think about, okay, sure, Katie, $33, cool. But think about the compound effect. You're working on yourself. You're bettering yourself, which means that you're going to be a better girlfriend, or a better sister, or a better daughter, or a better wife, or whatever, a better roommate, friend, coworker. And you're literally working on yourself and spreading that love and positivity to others and getting paid for it. And then the more you stay consistent, the more it'll compound and it'll turn into something huge. And like I said earlier, I moved to Massachusetts. Next month will actually be a year, which is crazy to me to even think about. And I would have not been able to just up and quit my news job and move if I hadn't had this opportunity. Because while, $1,500, $2,000 a month may not seem like a huge income, but it was enough income that I could walk out of those journalism doors and come here and be with the guy that I loved, and to be in a happy environment finally in my life, and be with someone who loves me and treats me well, and get out of a long distance relationship that was super stressful. So I just need you guys to think about how this little chunk of money, whether it be 50, 100, or even 500,000, over 1,000, whatever, can do for you. Because it's all about the time and effort that you put into yourself, and the work that you do as a coach, and the money just over time reflects that. Would you say that's an accurate description, Kate?
Yes, sorry, someone just FaceTimed me and I was like,
no, I didn't even hear it.
That's like absolutely right. Same thing for me. I mean, the money that I made allowed me to leave a job that was awful. And it might not be like where I want to be yet, but it was enough to cover the amount that I was making from the thing that I hated. Like it got me away from that. So, and it was just compound effect, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Well, guys, we've taken up enough of your time. I think the conversation kind of went, I think, longer than we both thought, about over half an hour.
20 minutes.
Yeah, no, but I definitely think that, like, if you guys sit down and you have the time and you've listened to this, if you're still with us, then you obviously are still interested. So this is just a time that whether I invited you or whether Kate invited you, shoot us a message and just ask us questions, or we're here, or post them below. This group is going to be an ongoing group. If you have questions, or, you know, I can share my income progression, or we can bring some more stuff to you if you guys have anything in particular. So just let us know if you guys have questions. If not, you can reach out to us one-on-one, and hopefully we'll be working with you soon. So hope you guys have a great evening. Bye, guys.